Well, hello. This is the first presentation of the, Ballyhonus Top Dogs podcast. I'm going to give this a try, and tonight's just going to be a general introduction of where we are to date. A lot of the lads in town and from around where I live in London and around the world have entered my three leagues. The first one is the Christy Nicholson Pub. Premier League fantasy team. Second league is the Kirk Clapp Memorial. And the third league I have is the King of the Travellers, which is a head-to-head league, knockout round. So I want to just give you a general introduction where we are. Okay. I'm going to screen share now. And hopefully you can see the pictures here. Okay, here we are. Well, basically, the Christy Nicholson Pub, I began it in 2013-14 originally. 2012 and 13, Paul Nolan asked me, would I join the Ballyhonus Town Football FPL, Premier League fantasy team. I had no idea about this. I did the Sun Dream team, but that you had to telephone it in and it cost money and just a bit over the top for me. And so Bunon, Paul said, enter a team and we'll go 50 euros in. So we'd split the entrance fee. So in 2012-13 was my first season. Basically me and Bunon went in on that. Then I was looking at other leagues, the Max League, and that was pretty popular at the time. But I thought to myself, well, I want to do my own league. So I thought about Christy Nicholson Pub is my favorite pub, and why not give it a go and start something up? So the 13 and 14 was the Suarez season, and I had a phenomenal, absolutely just captained him all the way. My first season I ended 330,000, which is out of 6 odd million, which in the world, which is amazing. So in 13-14, as you can see here, 2,463 points, just under 1,500 in the world, which is blow your mind. So I thought to myself, well, why don't I take on everybody and have a crack at this, and I thought, well, I'll put some money up. So that's where I came up with the Christy Nicholson. I decided to put 100 euro for first prize, second prize 50 euro, and third prize 25 euro. So I started that in 13-14, and I kind of won that. It was the inaugural Christy Nicholson. So I put up the money and I tried to get my best to get everybody to go on in my leagues. And in 14-15, John Kelly from Ireland won it. And then he won it again in 16. He was really difficult, phenomenal player. This is John Kelly here. He's got the 2015 win and the 2016 win there. Then afterwards, Porkawan. He kept coming second or third. He was always there and about. So, John Kelly said, well, it's nice that he eventually got and won it. He's got the main trophy there in 2017 to Christy Nicholson. And this one here is the Kirk Clapp Memorial Trophy. In 2014, my good friend from California, he passed away. to not so great circumstances. I miss him still. We were friends. We talked every day in Battle Pirates, which was a game. So that's the reason why I decided to do something, for Kirk. He was a Man United fan. He loved soccer, and he was an amateur referee for soccer in San Diego leagues. He was a referee, and he took a lot of abuse. He used to tell me. So anyway, this is just Kevin Byrne. He presented the trophies to Pork here and myself. I won the King of the Travellers, and I came second in the Christy Nicholson that year to Pork in 2017. Just myself there. Pork again. This is in Max. So every year I like to, whoever wins the Christy Nicholson, I ask them, where do you want to celebrate it? So Pork decided Max. This is young Tommy Cunyon. He came third in 2017, and this is in Nicholson's. So he had a very good season that year. His mum actually popped by as well, and they were thrilled. So moving on to 2018, with a great total of 2,248 points, just over the 50,000 overall in the world, which would have been about 7 million. Duncan Hannon just pipped me by quite a bit, actually. He done very well. I came second that year. 2018 was the World Cup year, so I decided to get these fancy trophies. I got them at a discount. There was a mix-up with the order. So these trophies are just phenomenal. As you can see, look at the size of them. Duncan won the first prize in the Christy Nicholson. I came second that year to Duncan, and I won the Kirk Clapham Memorial. I don't think Duncan was entered in that year, so handy enough. And this is Tom Murtha as well. We had a good night. That was in the Cape. And so coming on to third was, yeah, that's the picture there. That's what I want there. Third that year in 2018 was my friend David Martin, from London here where I work, and this is the Ruskin. It's now closed, but there you go. We're having a good time. So in 2019, Christy Kilcourse, he was thrilled. He won all the trophies, the Christy Nicholson, the Kirk Clapham Memorial, and the King of the Travellers. So being an Arsenal fan, and me Tottenham, well, there you go, isn't it? So I had to have a comeback. And this is William Nestor, who finished second to Christy last season. Well, you can say the season before. And I came third that year as well. So Christy done very well, Christy Kilcourse. So obviously this year, I won it this year. I had a great season, 2,300 points, just inside the top 50,000 in the world. Really delighted with that. I just want to point a shout out also for Duncan Hannon and Christy Kilcourse and William Nestor and Tom Murtha as well. They all over the years have donated money to my charity, which is Go Camp in Ukraine, where since 2008 I've done 3 years now of Go Camp, and the whole point of it is to go to Ukraine and to be assigned a school in rural Ukraine and encourage the children from ages between 8 and 16 to develop their English and encourage them and show them it's an amazing language. Also, Go Camp do German and French, and they're looking to try and do Spanish camps, running alternatively. So I've gone for the last 2 years, but this year we did an online session, which lasted 2 weeks, and I was assigned to a school in Kiev. I'm a teacher, my mentor, as they say, is she was phenomenal, and the kids were, their English was brilliant, and it was a great experience. So that's just the general history. So just to let you know that there is, you know, a continual, you know, there's money, there's prize money. I fund everything. I don't believe in paying entry or asking, you know, somebody for sponsorship or whatever. It's just too much palaver. And for over the whole season, it's not too bad. Whatever money the guys, since Duncan Hannon, Christy Kilcourse, William Nestor, myself, and Tom Murtha, we've donated, you know, quite a bit of sum of money to Go Camp Ukraine, which is, it's not necessary. But, you know, obviously I want the winner to enjoy the money and have a few pints and at least, you know, get something out of it. Like what Park Ruan said, he said it's nice to have a trophy just as a memento because the money goes. So I just want to thank the lads for donating. They didn't have to do that, but thanks very much. It's going to a good cause because the volunteers who go to Go Camp, we have over 500 volunteers a year, and they have to be placed. Their transportation fees in Ukraine come into account. It costs money. We go to a camp, and the food and all sorts of stuff, that's where the money goes. All the volunteers pay for their flight to Ukraine, and then they get collected at the airport and brought to the main camp in Kiev. And 3 days later, after training, bonding, and get to know the other countries that have arrived there, we do a presentation and introduce our culture to the other volunteers, and it gets you away from everything, and you're out of Kiev and you're in a camp, and then the big day, the Sunday, where you're going to your school and you could have like 16 hours on a train, or it could only be down the road. And then the excitement of meeting your teacher, and then the kids at school, and starting the 10 days, well, the 5 working days each. So thanks very much, lads. I want to say that from the top. Something good is coming out of this, which was what I want. So just obviously, the next thing I want to just go into is the actual fantasy team itself. Here myself, Wega's head honchos. Well, I've just done a rough team. You know, I think Trent Alexander-Arnold is a must. I like Van Dijk from last season. Peters I like. Son Fernandez, Aubameyang, Kane. Now, this is only an initial team. As you can see, I got Antonio, San Maxim, and Egan on the bench. Ryan is probably play, but I'm going to change this team around when I can. It's just a general, you know, get something on the board. I'm doing this podcast along with the likes of William Nestor when he can get going. Maybe Christy Kilcourse will come in and do something. Mark Phillips, Shane Healy, maybe Aidan Phillips as well. Aidan Fitzpatrick needs to be, you know, he could come in and do a job, or anybody really who wants to come in. This is just basically my stand-ins. As you can see, it's pretty consistent, you know, 200,000, 100,000, 180, and a great year. So, you know, I'm not just like, you know, doing this as you know, something to do. It's something that we all take serious, you know, the guys in our league, and today's, you know, they do it serious. So, just to have a look at what the hell's going on in regard to the transfers. We've had some news. For instance, it's just a shock to see Aubameyang there in midfield. It's just totally insane. He is a striker, and for some reason he's been thrown down into midfield, and he's nearly a must pick. There's plenty here. Like obviously, I want to get De Bruyne in. He's gone up from 10 million to something like 11.5. Salah, these guys are more or less the same from last season. Sterling is not a bad price. Another Rashford's in now as a midfielder. Mason Greenwood is a midfielder. These guys were strikers last season. This is why you need to have a massively strong top 5 midfielders. I think the striking options, well, you can't risk it to have all them. You're trying to get Bruno Fernandes in that team as well. Sterling. Do you want Salah? De Bruyne? The thing I don't like about Salah is he doesn't get the bonus points. The last season was really infuriating. He'd have to score 2 goals and a few assists and maybe a hat-trick to get anything. Because if Liverpool keep a clean sheet, then all them points are out through the window. It doesn't matter what a striker does. See the Mahrez and Son. So Willian, Grealish, people he's still 7 million is quite pricey now for Grealish. It's hard to fit someone in when you've got to consider all these guys, Aubameyang, Sterling and Rashford. And one thing is Martial has gone up to his striker now. So you're losing the extra midfielder's bonus for that. And I don't think he's prolific enough. So, it's all change. It's absolutely insane what's going on with the midfield options. Going into the strikers, obviously, Kane is like he always starts very well and he ends very well. It's the little bit in between when he gets that injury. The strikers here, obviously, Vardy is still quite very good value, I suppose. It's considering Martial is slightly, it's quite a lot of money. Ings has gone up again, and he's had a terrific season. Jimenez is more or less around the same price as he was last year. And Carlson has gone up front and from midfield. It's Firmino is way overpriced at 9.5, and he what did he score? 1 home goal all season, 1 or 2 at the last game of the season for Liverpool. Jesus is no value at all. Aguero now 10.5. Could be he's a little bit cheaper from last season, but there's all much of a muchness there in the striking options. Really, it's all about midfield this season. I'm pleasantly happy to see that Trent Alexander-Arnold hasn't gone sky high. I was expecting an 8.5 off him, but he's more or less just 7.5, which you can accommodate it. I'll just get rid of him here, remove player, and we'll have a look at the options. Really, there's not much change in the midfielder or the defenders from what we can see. Some of the Sheffield United guys have gone up by about 0.5 mil. Dunk is interesting. He could be going. He could be going to Chelsea because he's a Chelsea fan, so that could be interesting there. Really, it's all about Liverpool defenders, if anything, and sneak in a few. So Aubameyang is a good choice. He's going to sign a new contract, and he'll be ready and raring to go for the next season. There's obviously lots of Leeds, and we'll just have a quick look. Well, obviously, Leeds are coming up, and they're going to cause shockwaves. I think basically Pablo Hernandez is a very interesting. Could be low budget to fit in if you want to get a striker in, and not just go top heavy in the midfielders. Bamford is not as prolific as he could be for Leeds. It's and people are looking at Dallas. Dallas is very interesting as well. Lots of people are getting him in their fantasy teams. Obviously, with Fulham, it's all about Mitrovic. He's back, and will he be able to basically start off from where he left off when Fulham went down nearly 2 years ago? So Mitrovic is 6 million, which is quite handy. A lot of midfielders. I don't know if you could really chance maybe something, maybe one of their defenders. Maybe, I don't know, Session. Interesting. So that's basically just a rough. I'm just quite shocked at what's gone on with the midfielder assignments. It's absolutely blow your mind stuff. It's how do you get 5 of them? Like even William is interesting. Mount, lots of people like Mount. Okay, so just a little bit of info. I don't know how legit this is, but I just heard and found out tonight. A fixture. Hopefully you can see it, but the opening day fixtures. Well, there's certainly some very interesting ones, isn't there? Like, as you can see, if this is true, well, Tottenham Villa is handy now for Kane and Son. You know, do Tottenham have a handy enough run? That Tottenham Villa game reminds me of last year. That was very early. That was very early on, I remember. Under Poch, yeah. Villa went 1-0 up and Tottenham then ran out 3-1 winners. So that's reminders of last season when I was there actually at the ground that day. Man United, Arsenal. Well, Aubameyang doesn't like these big games. He really beats up, the flat track bully really. These away games we've seen with Arsenal, these double game weeks from last season, there was 2 of them, and I got in Aubameyang and twice for them, and he's basically done nothing didn't start one, and the other one he did nothing basically. There's a little thing about Arsenal about the Bellerin trap, and there's the Saka trap, and this could be a Aubameyang trap. He's a midfielder. Everyone's going to get on him. Everyone's going to, oh my God, you can't. He's such a liability. How can you have him starting up front and he's a midfielder? And I feel sorry for poor Lundstrom as well from Sheffield United. He's gone up to a midfielder now, and he mightn't start every game, and he's 5.5 million. So I don't know how he can fit into midfield. It's a shame, really, because everyone would have had him. Even if he was 5 million defender, I'd have him. So I don't know what sort of formula they've been using, to do these midfielders, converting Rashford. And, if anything, Salah and Mane should be forwards. So they've really attacked the United setup. So it's nearly impossible to go with 3 United now. It's too much of a risk if you want Fernandes and Rashford and Martial or whatever. So this is what West Brom, Burnley, West Ham, Liverpool, very interesting. Liverpool have a terrific record, at West Ham, generally. Last year, I think it was 1-1. Or was it the year before? Wolves and Leicester. So this is just something that I found out tonight from somebody I met. Chelsea, Southampton. So that's just a little bit to go on, and just Everton, Fulham, Leeds United, and Newcastle United. Wow, that could go either way. So it's just something. If this has turned out to be true, this fixture list, I would be getting on Tottenham. It just see what comes out. It's just a little bit extra. I just happened to catch about. So in later on in these podcasts, I won't be on my own. I'll have some of the lads. I'll have whoever wants to join in and just talk about general chit chat, and how they're going and how they see things. I think the next one we'll be looking forward to. I think it's the 21st of August, for the full fixture list of the season. And then I think it's roll on till the 12th of September for the first game of the season. So I think it's the 12th. Yeah, the 12th of September will be the start. Maybe the Friday, there might be a Friday game. I'm not sure if they'll go that way, but we're looking at the 21st as the maximum deadline that the fixture list can be released. So I think we could get some of the guys on board to have a comment to the list, and we'll be able to plan our teams more around what sort of team index or form fixture index, as they say, which teams they could have a nice run over the next 6 or 7 games. Last year, I think it was Villa and Newcastle, Newcastle and Everton had great run of games. Like Bournemouth had a great run of games at the start, and I went with Ryan Fraser and Callum Wilson, and just trying to bomb, but it didn't work out with Bournemouth. They were beaten in the first day of the season by Sheffield United. It was 2-1. It was just, I think it was 1-0 actually. Well, one or the other they lost, so that blew that theory out. And then I did the transfer probably next game. The thing is, you can do the wild card. I generally do a wild card at the first few games of the season, first few game weeks, and then obviously I have a tendency to do it for the first few game weeks after January. And this time it worked out after when we came back with the big restart. I still had the wild card, and I kept it on, and it was very handy, seriously handy, the way it worked out last year. So that's just a general rundown of how I see things this year, and hopefully we'll have some of the guys on to have an input on the Zoom, and see what they think, and look forward to a brand new season, and hope it will be COVID free and we can just concentrate on football and get some of the fans back in the stadium. I'm really looking forward myself to get back in the Tottenham Stadium and just get back into the buzz of it. Okay, guys, I'll stop the share now. And listen, guys, I hope you have some crack and we'll tune in and see what the story is over, every other week or whatever. And we'll share the Zoom cast with anyone who wants to, and anyone anyone can join in if they want to Zoom in. I'll send the codes out, and we'll see what the story is. And good luck with whatever you do. God bless. Over and out.